Hello and welcome to episode 183 of the Casual Try Hard podcast. I'm
And
Brian,
I'm James.
and today we're talking about the end of an era.
Ooh. Sounds
Yeah,
ominous.
sounds ominous. There'll be a show next week, don't worry. Um,
Oh, yeah, not our era.
Not our era, still going strong. Um, but as we've been talking about, Wizards has kind of abdicated their duty to give us content.
Yeah.
Both in the game or about the game. So if you have anything that you would like us to talk about or any topics you're interested in, now is the time.
Now's the time.
So all of
We
our
got like
social
2
media
months
links,
before the next set, I think.
yeah,
Still?
dear gosh, there's only so many companies that can like go out of business between now and then. So all of our social media links are in the description. So like reach out to us with any questions you have, anything that you want us to cover,
Yeah.
and we will go over it
Yeah. We're
as
also,
best we can.
I think at some point, going to work towards doing a mailbag episode also. We did one for, I think it was episode 100 we did, where we, opened up to questions from you guys, and it seemed to be a pretty popular episode at the time. So I think that's
Yeah.
another good one to do again.
Yeah, we can start soliciting questions now and then like in the future, as
Yeah.
opposed to like a week out. We can be like once we feel like we have enough questions, we can do it.
And it'll be before episode 200, so it won't be every 100 episodes, but I think coming up's a pretty good time to squeeze one in. The kinds of questions we're looking for are quick things, like things that we wouldn't do a whole episode on. I know, like in Discord, I'm usually pretty on top of just answering quick questions you guys have, but like that kind of stuff is good for a mailbag episode. And it doesn't have to be magic related. The last one we had all sorts of weird questions that were not magic related. So if you guys got any burning desires that you want to know, or in magic or out of magic, hit us up. Like Brian said, all the social media is in the description. If you guys are looking to support the show, there's a couple different ways to do it. One of them we're going to talk about extensively today, and that's our TCGPlayer affiliate link, tcg.CasualTryHardMTG.com. Follow that link over to TCGPlayer. Anything you purchase before leaving the site, doesn't matter what you do in there, we will get credit for. Helps support the show. We really appreciate it. Speaking of, another slight tangent here, Double Masters 2 stuff is pretty cheap right now. As of recording over this weekend, I know I told you guys I wasn't going to buy anything, but I couldn't resist. A lot of that borderless stuff is really inexpensive. So head on over to tcg.CasualTryHardMTG.com, and especially that borderless stuff, I think you should peruse it. There's a lot of gems in there for under $1. Definitely
Yeah, it
worth
was
picking up.
surprising how much of that stuff was under $1, especially like the commons and uncommons.
Yeah, like I think we mentioned last week, the Coiling Oracle with the Richard Kane Ferguson art was super cool, and I think the foil copies were 60 cents. So
Yeah.
head on over there, pick some of that stuff up, and help support the show at the same time. We would appreciate it. If you guys want to support us more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Patrons get access to our show notes. They get access to our pre-show. This one was all over the place, so you guys have fun with that. And you also get put on my mailing list. Every once in a while, I'd like to show our patrons how much we appreciate them, and I send them little goodie bags in the mail. If you want to get put on my mailing list, or you want to listen to our pre-show, head on over to patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG and chip a couple bucks in. Support the show. Show us that you love us.
Yes.
We have our YouTube channel, Casual Tryhard MTG on YouTube. Hasn't really been a whole lot going up there lately. We do have our tournament next weekend. I'm sure Brian's going to record his tournament gameplay, and that'll go up.
With audio this time.
With
hopefully.
audio this time, yeah. Speaking of, man, this intro was full of segues. Our tournament's next weekend, or this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
July 23rd, 8 p.m. East Coast time. It is Standard Artisan, so anything that is at common or uncommon in Standard can be legal in your deck. MTGmelee.com is where you can sign up for that tournament. they're a lot of fun every time we do them. So if you're available, come on, sign up.
I am currently the only player registered. You can't let me have an uncontested tournament win, people.
Yeah, come
You can't.
dethrone
You gotta
Brian.
come take me down. You gotta come take me down.
Yep, do it. I dare you.
Yeah, there we go.
And we got one more bit of housekeeping here, and that is next weekend. So not the 23rd, but the 30th. Brian and I are going to be on Brad's Twitch stream playing Pauper EDH or PDH. It's twitch.tv/DracV_Pauper. I'm not sure exactly what time, but we can probably post that on social media when we figure it out. We're going to be playing webcam EDH, so come check us out.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. I came up with the memeiest deck I could.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty good.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I don't want to embarrass myself too much.
Yeah, I'm playing mid-range, surprise, surprise. And
I'm playing onlypants.com.
Yeah. So if you want to see Brian navigate his onlypants.com.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, check us out next weekend.
This is not on the housekeeping thing.
Okay.
It's what we ended the pre-show with.
Okay, yeah, one more shout out.
One more shout out.
Okay.
I just want to Bowman, aka Azure, is a speed runs first person like shooter type games. Like Portal is one he did for a long time, and then a game that's less well known, I think, called the Talos Principle. But he has been playing the game Neon White, which is like an interesting like first person shooter with like a card mechanic for your weapons. But he is currently the world record holder in both versions of the game. And recently, one of his speed runs was featured on IGN in their Devs React series, where they have game developers watch speedrunners like dismantle their games. And so, I don't know. I just think it's just randomly like in like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. There's like, oh, the person who is best at this random thing in the world.
Yep.
Right.
Seems
and
accurate.
It's like, oh yeah, I know that guy.
Yep.
So if you like watching speedruns, as he will always tell you, twitch.tv/Azure. And now to do him justice, I should probably look up really quick. How does one spell Azure? Right? Like that is
AZORAE, I think, right?
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Hooked on Phononics didn't get to West Virginia. So that is a problem that
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. AZORAE.
AZOR. Not there. Yes, that is it.
Yep.
If you see a Twitch logo with a little purple-haired anime girl with a yellow butterfly headband,
you're in the right
you know
spot.
you're in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah,
but yeah,
he's
so
one of the
you
guys we used to travel with all the time when we were traveling to events.
Yeah.
Good friend of ours.
But yeah, so been blowing it up in the world of speed runs.
Yeah, congrats, Bowman.
And he's been doing it for years. And if you've ever heard of like Awesome Games Done Quick, AGDQ, I think he was featured there this year for 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got some time when you're not listening to us, you should give him a look.
Yeah.
All right. So our big topic, the end of the era that we're talking about, is that Big Papa TCG Player, thank you for all those sweet kickbacks, TCG Player, bought Channel Fireball.
Yeah, and Binder POS. I don't believe
Yes.
Binder POS and Channel Fireball were the same company.
I don't think so. No.
I'm almost positive they were not. Actually, thinking about it, I know that they're not the same company. But TCG Player bought both of them. So we're going to kind of break down, I don't know, some of the nuts and bolts of that. There's not a whole lot strictly Magic related here. It's more like businessy stuff, but I don't know, like sometimes this stuff is interesting. So, and Wizards didn't give us anything to talk about, so I think that this
Thanks,
will be
Wizards.
this will be an interesting show. We've been doing some
tight.
finance stuff lately, and even though this isn't strictly finance related, I think it's an interesting enough topic. So I don't think that this means, like I just said, I don't think this means a whole lot for any of the current like customers. Like I don't think it's going to change. I mean, obviously TCGPlayer is not going to be Channel Fireball is not going to be Channel Fireball anymore. But I don't think it really changes a whole lot for like the average Magic player. Like maybe if you were a strictly Channel Fireball shopper, you shop somewhere else now. But I don't even know how many of those people exist anymore, because like I think like the motivating force behind all of this is that COVID kind of killed Channel Fireball early on. Like early in the pandemic, they kind of dissolved the CFB events that was running, like all the Grand Prix and like that kind of stuff. And then shortly after that, they started liquidating all of the like supplies. Remember they were doing those like kind of loot box things where you'd, give them $100 and they'll send you like, I don't know, 4 random GP playmats and some sleeves and deck boxes, and they had like old GP promos.
Yeah, and like they also had the promos that they were going to be using for that like GP season.
Yeah,
and it got canceled, so it was like take all the Path to Exiles you want.
Yeah, I mean they were beautiful Path to Exiles. I
very
bought
nice.
a couple boxes just to have some of the paths.
So like there had been rumblings before, even before COVID, that CFB Events wasn't doing great.
Mm-hmm.
And while CFB Events was like for legal purposes its own company,
right,
it was still like Channel Fireball was still its kind of parent company.
Yeah.
And so like if you remember going to events, like the prize walls got like less and less
generous,
and like there were less events.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like there would always be like a couple legacy events at a GP.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, they just had gotten rid of them. They're like, yeah, they don't fire enough, so we just got rid of them.
Yeah.
And so like they were really streamlining things, trying to, increase their profits.
Yeah. From the event side.
From the event side.
And then if you remember, not too long after the pandemic started, CFB kind of moved away from their own business model, where instead of being like an online retailer where you would go to, buy your singles or whatever, they kind of turned themselves into a marketplace, which is oddly similar to TCGPlayer's business model.
So, in between there, your boy sent a buy list order to Channel Fireball.
Mm.
And I don't know if you remember this. It was not an insubstantial amount of money.
Yeah.
And I sent it to the CFB warehouse in like San Jose or something.
Yeah.
Wherever they were. And it got forwarded to Henderson, Nevada.
Yeah.
CFB moved their entire operation, or like the warehouse, to Nevada. I'm assuming because a warehouse in Nevada is significantly cheaper than a warehouse in San Jose.
Yeah, it's probably also more like climate stable.
Yeah, but right, like they had been in San Jose for like a decade.
Yeah.
Right, and they were like, it's time to dip.
Yep.
And then when they became a marketplace, the thing that I think they did differently, and I'm not sure about this because I literally never bought a card from the CFB marketplace, is they liquidated their entire stock. Mm-hmm. They sold all of their Magic cards to, was it Miniature Market?
Yeah, I think so. Or was it Miniature Market? No, because Miniature Market closed down too. I think it was it Cool Stuff?
I don't think.
Because I used to buy list to Miniature Market, and they closed their buy list down, I think.
Huh. I don't remember. But they sold all of their stock.
Yeah,
So
I
they
mean, maybe
wouldn't
that's
be
why
like
they closed their buy list down
they wouldn't be competing with people
on their marketplace.
on their marketplace. They didn't want to do that. So CFB was launched in 2009, right? And they got rid of and they kind of went away
Mm-hmm.
in a like in like kind of like a 2-year time frame, right?
Yeah.
From like this like every seemed like it was doing well until COVID,
Right.
right? And then right we had COVID, and then shortly after COVID, they had CFB Pro,
Mm-hmm.
right, where it was like, hey, pay for our
Subscription model.
content,
Yeah.
right? Which I did for the first year
Mm-hmm.
because like I read all their content and I was like, I'm sure times are tough.
Yep.
I'll try to hook them up, maybe keep them afloat a little bit, which I had done for a few things at the start of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was like, oh, things are a little bit rough for me. I need to keep me afloat.
Yeah. Secure your own mask, right? Isn't that what they tell you?
Yes, secure your own mask. But so they had that happen, and then it was only last year that they switched to the marketplace, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Like they only gave the marketplace like a year,
I don't even know if it was a full year.
and now they're gone.
Now they're gone. TCG
So,
Player
like-
gobbled them up.
Yeah. So like you said, like I don't know if anyone's going to notice a difference.
I think that like most players aren't going to notice a difference, and like really, I'm not sure. I mean, people are going to know that Channel Fireball's gone. They were one of the only places left that was doing like content. Like Cool Stuff still does content, and TCG Player still does content, I think. But CFB they definitely had the biggest names doing content still.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, like people would have noticed Channel Fireball isn't around anymore. But as far as like your average player, I don't think it really means anything. But it was kind of big news. Like it shocked a lot of people when the news dropped. And I don't know. I think it's definitely worth talking about.
I think that like for the longest time, like Star City and Channel Fireball were Coke and Pepsi,
Oh yeah.
right? And you know, there's not a like reasonable third soda option for this analogy, so that means that what's it called? Card Kingdom gets to be RC,
Sure.
right? So there was
I
Coke,
mean, I think
Pepsi,
that's
and
a pretty fitting analogy, though. It's
like
the two
Coke,
big
Pepsi,
ones, and then
RC
one that's a
Cola.
ways behind.
yeah, that like they were doing good stuff at Card Kingdom, but they just never had the traction in the profile.
Right.
I think that was because of the content sides.
Yeah.
Of CFB and Star City.
Yep.
And I don't know, Coke decided they were going to stop making Diet Coke. They were just like, yeah, no, we're going to sell this. We can do this one thing.
Yep.
So like Star City in the last year got rid of content.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It was this year, right?
Yeah, I think it was this
Time's
year.
a flat circle now. Yeah, right. Like it was September. No, sorry, it was January or February. They got rid of content.
Yep.
Right now, Channel Fireball just was like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
We're getting out. And it's just wild that like they're both gone. Like if you went to the store and it was like half the Coke products were gone, all the Pepsi products were gone, and there was still like, you know, and there was somehow a 12-pack of RC Cola cans.
Mm-hmm.
Like what happened to all of my Pepsi? Right? So it's just wild that like this pillar in the Magic community is gone.
Yeah.
Now, I think I've told you that, or we've talked about like, was it Channel Fireball started out as like Superstar Comics or Superstar Sports or something?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so from what I understand, the history of CFB was it was like a sports card store
Okay.
that Magic started happening, and like one night, like Machi, this like the mythos is like Machi Scanlan and like LSV, and I don't know if President and CEO John Sasso was there or not, but they were in like someone's garage talking, and they were like, "Oh, why can't we just like record people playing Magic and make it like a television network?"
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the Channel Fireball logo for years was the ball coming out of the TV.
Yeah.
Because they were
Magic
screaming
TV.
magic out of the television at you.
Yeah.
Because they were channel, like TV channel.
Yeah, I got
Fireball. And so, like, they had, like, whatever, like, superstar cards or whatever that I think morphed into Channel Fireball. And, like, do you remember, did you ever see, like, the launch of Channel Fireball?
Mm-mm.
LSV was in a pro tour.
Yeah.
And, like, took the mic and was, like, in an interview and was like, hey, we just started this new website for cards and content called channelfireball.com. And he crashed their website.
Wow.
So,
no, I don't think I ever heard this story.
Yeah, like it's like classic LSV, just like doing an interview, and it's just like I don't know if it was like I don't think it was cop mustache and mirrored shades LSV, but it was like that vintage.
Yeah.
But yeah, he like was at a pro tour and like during one of the interviews announced that they were starting this website. Like that was the like kickoff announcement was at the pro tour.
Wow.
So like LSV had a piece because he'd grown up playing in that store for years. Same with like Machi, and so it was like it seemed big, but it was small. It was like just a really big local game store.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of what Card Kingdom is too. Like Card Kingdom.
Yeah, and
is
same with like
Sporting
Star
House.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same with like Star City, and like you know. The owner of that store had owned a store for a while. Maybe he just got to the point where he was like retiring.
Yeah, who knows?
Right? Like it was just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm out.
Yep.
Right? I'm not making as much money as for the amount of work I'm doing, I'm not making enough money. And I can get out.
Yep.
Speculation. But like it's always
well, I think like most of this show's speculation. Like I don't want our listeners to get the wrong idea. That
I have no LSV has not called me.
Yeah.
So my last interaction with LSV is he Thassa's oracled me in a limited game on Arena.
On Arena.
So
I think my last interaction with LSV is I ate dinner at the same restaurant as him once and looked at the back of his head while I was eating my cheeseburger.
He then revealed on LR that he was cooking a brisket while beating me at Limited. And I was like, damn it, he wasn't even paying attention.
That's so LSV.
Yeah. But, yeah, just brisket.
Double queued,
making a brisket, beating me. Yeah. Just makes sense. But yeah, so it's just... So, like, there's a number of factors, but they definitely, over the last 2 years with COVID... had some visible issues from the outside.
Yeah. Where,
like, things were clearly not going super great.
Yeah. Now, I don't know, like, what portion... I mean, obviously, TCGPlayer, by acquiring Channel Fireball, is, like, that's going to help their business because they don't have the competition anymore. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, like, what portions of TCG... or what portions of Channel Fireball TCGPlayer is actually going to use. Like, I don't know that there's anything there that they're, like, any property that they wanted. You know what I mean?
The only thing I could think is maybe Channel Fireball had contracts with sellers that were like, hey, like, you can be on our site. Mm-hmm. And this could allow TCGPlayer to, like, have those contracts and pull more sellers onto their site.
Maybe. But, I mean, it also might be just another warehouse for them, though. because they do
Yeah.
like that was the only thing I could think of was that they do their like TCG Player Direct, which is out of the warehouse in
In Syracuse.
Syracuse. So maybe they wanted just another warehouse, out west that's already set up for,
Yeah,
that
like if
sort of order fulfillment.
yeah, like if CFB bought their warehouse in Nevada,
Mhm.
right? So now TCG just bought the CFB warehouse and like a group of employees that knows how to like
Yeah.
fill card
I
orders.
mean, even if they didn't buy the warehouse, they're buying the employees that already know how to process card orders and they already have the equipment there. And I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a number of things, right? It could, if you had a West Coast shipping location, I mean, just ask Amazon. Amazon wants to put a warehouse in every neighborhood,
Right.
right? So they can just like have faster shipping,
Mm-hmm.
right? So instead of getting your TCG order from Syracuse, if you live in California, you get it from Nevada. That
Right.
could be it as well.
Yeah.
There's any number of things.
Yeah. Now, again,
So
all speculation. Nothing. I don't want anybody to take anything that we say in this episode as gospel, because this is kind
Yeah.
of just things that I've heard and seen or whatever. So take it for what it is. But I believe I also read a statement from TCG Player saying that they weren't gonna cut back on content or like employees or anything.
Mhm.
Do you remember seeing that?
I know that LSV talked about the uh the fact that it was going to be good for people who wanted content because it was going to increase TCG's content.
Yeah.
But it does say that they want to enhance the collectible customer that TCG wants to enhance the collectible customers experience with unrivaled subscriber rewards.
Okay.
So it seems like maybe they also like were able to get like the CFB Pro list.
I don't know. I did see when I told you I put an order in for Double Masters 2 stuff. I did notice when I went to TCG Player over the weekend that there's a banner at the top saying that they're doing like bonus books rewards for subscription members.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's like an always ongoing thing for subscription members or not.
Yeah. But I had noticed that as well. Here, great big thing.
Yeah.
TCG subscription, free shipping and tracking on direct orders, subscriber only promos plus extra bonus bucks. And this is something that just started in the last like month or two. Because like I haven't gone to TCG Player. I don't go to TCG Player a ton. I go semi-regularly.
Yeah.
And I had noticed it recently, and I was like, huh.
Oh, okay. I hadn't noticed it until this weekend, so I didn't know if it was something.
It's $7 a month.
Mhm.
But like if you think about it, you get right with them raising the price of free shipping now to $50 on TCG Player.
Yeah.
Right. How many times did you like throw an extra $7 worth of cards that you may or may not have wanted in your cart for free shipping?
Right.
So,
and if you
I
get
don't know
bonus
if,
bucks, that's
you get 1% back when you subscribe. After 3 months, you get 2% back, and after a year, you get 3% back.
Okay, well, that's not really anything.
Yeah, you've got to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, probably not going to recoup that. But I mean, the shipping
to earn your subscription. Yeah,
yeah.
Shipping is probably where like you can like make that back and not feel too bad.
Yeah.
But and all of your orders are tracked if you are a member.
Well, I think TCG Player direct orders are tracked anyway.
Oh, well, that was one of their selling points. Is
okay.
All of your orders
they're not
are
anymore then.
Yeah, they've had to pare back stuff.
Or I wonder. Well, I don't know. I wonder if they're doing away with direct, like they're only offering direct to subscribers.
Yeah, not sure.
I don't know.
But it's just interesting that, we 2 years ago, you had these two pillars on the East and West Coast.
Yeah.
Now one's gone. One's not nearly as powerful as it once was.
I mean, I would argue that it's almost gone.
Yeah, like they do have their events that
Yeah.
Anzid
The CG
backpack
cons.
streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, the backpack streams.
Yeah.
So what I know nothing about Binder POS. Other than I'm assuming POS does not mean what it means for a car.
Point of sale.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, POS is point of sale.
Gotcha.
And like this is kind of the section I was talking about in the intro where like it's not necessarily Magic related, it's more just like how businesses work. Now, I don't own a business. I have never owned a business. I've only kind of halfway managed a business. So a lot of this section is just kind of my observations. I'm pretty good friends with the owner of our LGS, and they have had some dealings with Binder POS, and I've seen some of the struggles that they've had, trying to get the store more efficient over the last few years. So that's kind of my like exposure to this portion of the show. So just to kind of get that out there. I'm pretty sure that this company is who our LGS uses, actually.
Okay.
They were a startup a few years ago, and I think our LGS was one of the first customers. I think they only had single-digit customers when our LGS signed up to use them. They're a company out of New Zealand, I believe. So it was kind of weird to get the system up and going because the times are so different.
Mm-hmm.
So like any kind of retailer needs a POS or a point of sale system.
Yeah.
They do all sorts of things. They, create invoices and receipts. They track money. They generate reports. They track inventory. All of those, like the things in the background that you don't ever think about until you have to, like if you're running a business. And LGSs have some kind of unique like constraints that most stores don't. I don't know. I'm sure like most people have seen, you go to your local ice cream shop or whatever, or your barber shop or your shoe store, like anything that's like a small business locally owned probably has one of a few different POS systems. I think there's only a couple big ones now. Square or Clover, I think, are the two biggest. Usually it's some white apple-looking brick with like a touch screen that swivels around and like a cash drawer, and probably not even a receipt printer anymore.
Yeah.
The reason why all of these small local businesses use these is because there's not a whole lot of initial investment in them, where normally you'd have to, shell out a ton of money for like computer systems and hardware and subscription to the service or whatever you're doing. Square and Clover kind of use a different business model where they run it more like credit card processing, where they'll like shave a percentage off of every sale, and that's the price you pay to use their equipment and system. So it's a little bit easier for small businesses to get in and use these like all integrated, all-in-one systems, because they don't have to come up with any money or not much money up front. And like I said, everything's kind of integrated. Shopify is another one, but I don't believe Shopify has any hardware. It's all web-based from my understanding. You set up like a web store and like they'll do drop shipping. You can set up like drop shippers and stuff. So it kind of manages your inventory, but it's all web-based. So like I said, like LGSs kind of have some unique constraints that most retailers don't. If you go to your local ice cream parlor, like how many things are they selling you? They might have like 20 different flavors with 2 different kinds of cones and some toppings. So maybe like 100 different items they would ring up in their system.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a shoe store might have, I don't know, like how many shoes are in a shoe store, like 50 different shoes or whatever. There's not a ton of different things that they're
Yeah.
like have to inventory. Whereas an LGS has, I think there's 20,000 unique Magic cards as of right now, and most of them have multiple printings, multiple border treatments, multiple foilings. There's an astronomical number of Magic cards that need to be inventoried. And then on top of that, each of those foilings, borders, printings, arts, whatever, has a grade. So there's, you might be, I don't know, 100,000 different items you have to keep track of for your store. Most of these smaller POS systems won't handle an inventory that large. And then on top of that, game stores need to update their prices like whenever there's a market fluctuation, at least once a week, preferably once a day, maybe multiple times a day if like the market's really active. I know our LGS has updated prices multiple times a day in the past. Just to keep up with, if there was a new set release or whatever. These smaller point of sale systems that most retailers use will not update the price of 100,000 unique, pieces of an inventory multiple times a day. It's not feasible.
And also, like, you have to, like, you're adding new things to inventory.
Right.
Like, new versions of those cards.
Yeah.
Well, Wizards is doing it now, like,
thousands
once a
at
month.
a time. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's 700 new things that you may or may not get, but you have to have an electronic spot for all of them.
Right. Yeah, so it's it's tough. The challenges of an LGS are definitely a little bit different than, what a normal retailer might have. And then on top of that, just kind of the nature of the collectible card game or like TCG business lends itself very easily to online selling, because it's, if I was going to ship you an entire EDH deck, what's it going to cost me? $7. Whereas if I was going to ship you 100 unique SKUs from a shoe store, what's that going to cost?
A lot.
And especially like Square and Clover, like the actual hardware-based systems don't really lend themselves to online inventory very well. So there needs to be something that can kind of do both pieces. And I think that's where Binder POS comes in. I'm pretty sure Binder POS is an inventory system that will push the inventory both to your POS and to whatever website you're using. So it kind of just does the inventory portion of it, but still lets you use like your all-in-one, easy to use, like Clover, Square, or whatever you're using.
Oh, I see. So it integrates itself with the cash register thing, where like Crystal Commerce,
right, was just like a website,
which is inventory and let you run your website, but
right.
then didn't integrate with your other things. Okay.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure that's what Binder POS does. And they maintain their own database. Like you said, you need an electronic place to put every piece of cardboard. They maintain that portion of it, the multiple printings, multiple conditions, each with a corresponding price that updates regularly. They do all that stuff for you. And then I'm pretty sure how it works is when you like go to sell something, like say I'm building an EDH deck and I need to order 100 cards from my local game store. I put the order in, it pulls those cards out of inventory, generates a SKU, pushes that to your point of sale, and then like that gets run up. So you don't have to have, these 100 cards taken out of your Clover inventory. It's just, one SKU to do the whole thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it kind of integrates everything. What's kind of interesting here, I think, is that like that's not really something that TCGPlayer does. And it would give TCGPlayer an easy way, like if they were to integrate the Binder POS stuff to their service, I think it would be a really easy way for them to draw more LGSs into selling on the platform.
If when you used Binder POS, if it automatically put you on TCGPlayer,
Yeah.
right? You know, I'm assuming with some sort of opt out or opt in or
Yeah.
opt whatever, right? Like there's going to be more people that fall backwards into selling on TCGPlayer because, it was too hard for me to maintain 2 inventories or the
3
system I
inventories
used,
or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, the system I used didn't easily integrate with TCGPlayer.
Yeah.
But now if there is just like integration, yeah, it could just make it easier where, and you know, also, right, if you're TCGPlayer, if you're getting a cut every time a local game store sells on your site, and you get a cut every time a local game store sells a physical card to a person in their town,
yeah,
you're just getting all the cuts.
Well, I'm not sure, like the Binder POS stuff, I'm not 100% sure that it operates that way. That was more Square and Clover.
Yeah, but like
they're the ones that take a cut for every transaction.
But you're not using Binder POS for free.
Right. Oh no,
right?
no.
So,
yeah.
So if you're getting, you know, your 5% on every card sold on TCGPlayer, and then on top of that, you know, maybe not a cut, but now you're getting money from every local game store using this.
Right.
Right. You've kind of like where can we make more money?
Yep.
If we can get more action from local game stores.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll become their inventory system, and we're going to charge them for that, and maybe they give you a discount if you list on TCGPlayer.
Yeah.
We'll charge you 20% less for using this if you list with TCGPlayer.
Yeah. Just wait for TCGPlayer to acquire some card sorting robot, and they'll sell you like a game store in a box where it's a subscription to Binder POS, a card sorting robot, some long boxes.
Those card sorting robots are like, you can't even buy one. Have you seen, like, I actually went and looked at one, like you have to like rent it.
Yeah.
Based on how many cards you want to like sort, they charge you by like the millions of cards or thousands of cards you sort.
Well, have you looked at one up close?
No.
They're basically, you know what like a CNC router is?
Roughly.
That's basically what it is, except instead of a little spinny bit that cuts things, it's a suction cup with a camera. So like those things aren't meant for like what a card sorting robot is being asked to do. They're just kind of like they wear out quickly.
Gotcha.
And I think that's more why they're like leased instead of bought, because they need a lot of upkeep.
Gotcha.
Like if you were a game store having to do all that on your own, I think you'd pull your hair out.
To rebuild a CNC machine every 6 months would not be profitable.
Yeah. Not ideal.
So this, we touched on this in the pre-show, and I'll go back to it. Like, so like there, we kind of went over like maybe the business reasons why CFB may have gone away, right? You know, COVID being at the top of the list and other things, but there's another thing that I was thinking of. And it's just how content has changed.
Yeah.
Both in terms of like the shift from competitive to more casual, right? Which is what drove people to Channel Fireball and Star City Games, was there was always an arms race between them. Who has the best pros?
Right.
Who's going to give you the best deck list for this week for you to like go win your PTQ or to go win your F&M, right?
Yep.
So it was like, who has who, like, I'm a Jerry T person. I'm always going to go check Star City Games to see what Jerry T says.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, I like LSV and, oh
PV.
gosh, PV. I'm going to go to Channel Fireball.
Yep.
Right? And so, like, and the hope was, right, if you go to these sites, you're then there, and then you're like, well, I need to buy this card. They already have a link for me to click on the card.
Yeah.
Or you can just click buy deck list, and, like, just out of, like, sheer convenience, I will make my purchase here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So content is just advertising for your website.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And over the last few years, I feel like Magic content has gone the way of, like, TV.
Yeah.
Right? Where for years, right, and again, if you're under the age of 40 or, like, 30, hold on tight. There used to be this concept called appointment television, where you were like, oh man, Thursday at 9 p.m., like, my favorite show's on.
Yep.
I've got to be at home, butt on the couch, with my snack, and for the next hour, I'm sitting here and watching TV.
You want me to tell you a
Right.
quick story from when I was a kid? We
Go ahead.
used to have popcorn parties on Friday nights for TGIF.
Oh, God, TGIF was the best.
Yeah.
Yes, I think every family in America.
Well, it wasn't just my
Just like-
family. Like, we'd have friends over.
Yeah, like, but you would
the-
just shut down your life to
Yeah.
watch dinosaurs on, like, Friday at
Step
8.
by step.
Step by step, day by day. Yeah. Or Family Matters.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just, it was like your life stopped because there was no pause. There was no, like, watch it on demand later.
Right.
Right? The DVR, which, like, now sounds like dinosaur technology,
Mm-hmm.
right, was a huge game changer. I
Oh,
had
yeah.
a TiVo in grad school. It was sick. Right? But you had to go, and everyone in America had to watch NYPD Blue
At the same time.
at 10 o'clock on Tuesday,
Right.
because you didn't see that episode again until rerun started, like, 6 months from now.
Right.
Right? So, like, those advertising slots were super valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then we got more cable channels. Right? And people got a little more spread out.
Mhm.
And then we got TiVo, and you could watch the show and fast forward through the commercials, so that made the advertising a little less valuable, right?
Yep.
And now we all have, like, Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and whatever things.
Yeah.
And it's like you watch a specific show, and basically no one's watching the same stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, kind of piggybacking on what you were just saying, with everybody, having to tune in to the same show at the same time every week, like, that's not even how they produce shows anymore. Like, shows come
No.
out. There was just an article about The Boys, I think, and how the latest season of The Boys wasn't produced as, like, a TV series. It was produced as, I think they actually called it a 10-hour movie.
Yeah, it's just like, where do I stop this week's movie?
Yeah.
Right. So, right, we all had these, like, shared experiences of watching TV and stuff.
Mhm.
Right? And now we've moved to, like, it's all a la carte. You may have already watched Miss Marvel. I've got 2 episodes to go.
Mhm.
It's a lot harder for us to talk about what's going on that show.
Right.
And, like, for years, content was, you had ABC and CBS.
Yep.
Right? You had, CBS, the serious, like, old person drama,
Mhm.
NCIS, right, channel. And then you had, like, ABC, the family
Right.
programming channel, right? Which one do you like? It depends, but that's the one you go to.
Mhm.
Right? And over the course of the last few years, with, like, the advent of Arena in particularly,
Yeah.
right, if you, like, go on Twitter and just, like, look at, like, hashtag MTG or hashtag Arena, and you just start clicking on random people who are tweeting, I'm willing to bet 10, 20% of the people will be like, I'm an arena streamer.
Yeah.
And you've never heard of them before.
Have you ever gone down into the dregs of MTG streamers, like on Twitch?
Like the zero people streamers?
Like how many people have like 2 or less people? Like how many streamers are on Twitch right now with 2 or less people?
Oh, most of them.
Yeah.
Like 80% of them or something.
At least 80% of them, yeah.
Right. And, there's a lot more podcasts like ours that have like a dedicated like 300 to 500 person fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like, or that have gotten a little bit bigger and are 500 to 1,000 people.
Yep.
Right. But the hour you spend with us isn't an hour you're spending watching a Channel Fireball video.
Right. Watching
or
reading play Jund for the 40th time.
Yeah. Or, reading an article.
Yep.
Right. And so with all these people and all these like small, like more niche streamers,
mm-hmm.
right? Like people that get like consistently 200 or 300 views, and it like, it's fun and it helps like subsidize their income,
mm-hmm.
right? But they have a loyal audience that shows up and like hangs out. That happens enough that you start to run out of time.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
watch all the other stuff, right? So like, no one under the age of 60 just like exclusively has cable,
right?
And no streaming service,
right?
Like they're just, I don't think they exist, right? Like I don't have cable. My parents have, like, I think Netflix, but they still have cable,
yeah,
right? Because that's how you watch TV, right? But everyone now is like, I want to watch this niche thing. I'm gonna pay, or I like this content creator. I can support their content for a year for $60 and watch whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do that. Right? And so now there's not that need for the big place that everyone goes to. And if everyone's not coming to you for content, they're not buying cards.
Right.
So, like, part of the reason Star City Games got rid of content was because it wasn't driving sales anymore.
Yep.
And because, there's, some streamer wearing a dinosaur costume that's got 300 people watching and they're loving it, right? And they're not going to go read an Andrea Mengucci article about, the 75th card in Blue Red Delver.
Right.
So I think just like as like pro play has taken a back seat,
mm-hmm.
right? These sites were all set up to make you the best, like, semi-pro player you could be.
Well, competitive. Let's call it competitive.
Competitive. Yeah. Make you the best competitive player you can be. That's not important anymore.
Right.
What's important is, like, being fun, and that is not something that is what these sites were set up to do.
Well, I also don't think that it's something that you can quantify in the same way. Like, not that I'm, the best pro player in the world or that I even have anything to add to the topic, but I could probably sit down and write some sort of article about a deck, like Jund. I could write something about Jund. I could probably do like 1,000 words on Jund if I really, really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can do that when the focus isn't to be good. Like, if your focus is just to have fun, like, that's a lot more subjective. And subjective things aren't really that easy to, like, translate in, like, written word or even spoken word.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking as we were talking, think about PK's content since he's moved to Cool Stuff.
Yeah.
He does way less gameplay videos,
mm-hmm.
and it's way more like straight to camera commentary stuff.
Yep.
Right? And to me, like, as someone who makes YouTube videos, we've done this
mm-hmm.
where it's like, wow, when Karsten opens a box, he gets 50 times the views as when I do like 2 hours doing a draft.
Yeah.
So would it just be better if we just opened a box as opposed to me doing a draft? Right? if our mortgages got paid based on how many YouTube views we got,
we'd be opening
we'd
lots of
open
boxes.
boxes.
Yeah.
Right? Like that would make the most sense.
Right.
PK pays his mortgage based on how many people look at his videos.
Right.
And it used to be that he would have a like really highly edited like 30-minute video or 20-minute video and a like roughly like in like a longer like almost like full league video that had some edits and key points but like less. And those videos are hard to make, and I'm guessing they're not getting the views that his like, you know, it's not easy to like write a script and talk straight to camera,
right,
and do all this stuff. I know I've tried, but they're easier than like spending 20 hours editing an hour's worth of gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, it also gets easier the more you do it. Like, go back and look at like some of our early episodes. Like, not that our episodes are super scripted, but like they were pretty rough in the beginning. To the point where like you would spend hours and hours editing a video or editing just audio just for us to have like something that wasn't terrible to listen to. And now I think our show sounds way better than it did in the beginning, and we don't edit anything anymore. Like, you just kind of get better at doing the thing. Like, with as many videos as PK's cranking out, I bet you he does them, you know, maybe not in one shot, but pretty straight through.
Yeah. So just like, you know, someone who came up making videos every single, like gameplay videos every week, right? He cranked out a gameplay video every week, maybe 2. Now, like, it's rare for him to do a gameplay video.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, and his gameplay stuff was about being fun. So, like, it must be harder to get eyes on gameplay video.
Well, and that kind of goes along with what like we were just saying though, is if the focus isn't on competitive anymore, like people that are more casual aren't really looking to watch somebody else play, like they want to be playing. So even if the person that's playing is playing something, you know, not super optimal or just fun or whatever, like that's not something they're going to tune into, I don't think.
Or like if you have the chance to like watch PK play a 30-minute video or interact with like a streamer and build like that like parasocial relationship with, you know, someone where you're like, oh, like I'm making a friend,
right,
kind of deal. Like you might gravitate towards that. So it's just like, just as like traditional media has like fractured and broken, and you know there's not like the Gone with the Winds in the theaters for 2 years, and it's like the only thing anyone ever watched on a Friday night in America for years. Right? It's like, oh, I want to watch that movie, but there's like 45 other things for me to watch. Maybe I'll get around to it. Right? And it's like, oh, I wanted to watch that Andrea Mangucci Legacy video, but there were like 10 other Magic videos that looked slightly more interesting.
Yeah, I didn't quite get to it, and now he's got a new one out, and I probably won't ever go back to watch that last one.
Yeah, and so now I'm behind. And then, oh, something like fun popped up.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep up. And so you don't have that draw of like to hold these up. So like we're moving to a point of like a bunch of smaller things. And this is, I know I've talked about it to you before. Like I feel like all the small content creators should like band together.
Yeah.
So I think I told you I took my last Twitch subscription and I ditched it and I bought a subscription to Dropout, which is College Humor's video app.
Yeah.
Right. Where they gather all the stuff from College Humor. My wife and I like watching Actually. It was the only way to get new Actually episodes. And they have other games that we like and other shows that we like, right? So, like, I feel at some point there's going to have to be, like, all these content creators that that have like 500 people that watch them.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, pay $5 a month and you can get access to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like all the little people that are like doing a fun thing so they can monetize themselves.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like, come here and like buy cards. Because again, like, realistically, I would not have bought any cards in the last month and a half, 2 months, if I wasn't buying pants. Obscure, random pants.
Onlypants.com.
Onlypants.com. Right? Like, people aren't buying as many cards, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like, I would be more apt to, like, if there were 50 creators,
Mm-hmm.
that I could be like, here's $5 a month. Spread this amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Right? And they would probably make out better than they would trying to get ad revenue on YouTube.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife the other day, and she was asking me questions about the YouTube channel or whatever. And I said, yeah, we only need like 900 more subscribers to get monetized or whatever. And she's like, oh, that doesn't seem like that much. I said, yeah, we have 100.
Yeah. It's like, we need 1,000. Make some fake email addresses, people. Get to work. I want to see Casual Try Hard Fan 1, then 2, then 3, then 999.
Yeah.
All of them just subscribing like mad.
Yep.
Like, you can make a bot for this, right?
Probably. I'm sure they exist.
But, yeah, like, there's a pretty high bar to get monetized.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, I don't know. It just seems like we're, like, Magic is just mirroring what, like, the rest of the world has done. It just took a little bit longer. Right? Like, I feel like there was definitely, like, the boomery people, us, that were like, I go to Star City, I go to Channel Fireball. And, like, the game's kind of alienated us with, like, things that it's done.
Right.
And then we've kind of stepped away from the content to some degree, right? It's like, oh,
Yep.
I'm not trying to win like F&M. If I'm gonna go to F&M, I'm just gonna like relax and have fun.
Play pants.
Play pants. Only pants. And so many obscure things. I'm gonna just pick what's the most obscure one that I see. There's some that are like I got Teamer Runemark.
Ooh.
Trollhide.
That's a good one.
Dragon Fangs.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ophidian Eye. Oh yeah, there's some Savage Silhouette.
Have no idea what that
yeah.
one is.
Convincing Mirage. Well, Convincing Mirage is just a fancy way to say Stone Rain.
Oh, okay.
But right, like we just moved to that point where now everyone has their like little niche thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like we lost our sporting events. Right? The last thing that like the reason people have cable is because they want to watch live sports.
Right.
Right? That is the one thing that we've not like just been like, you know what? Cool. You can just do this whenever.
Yeah.
Though the NFL now has gotten rid of their DirecTV contract, and you can just buy NFL Game Day as like a streaming service now. But like you had cable because you wanted to watch live sports.
Yeah.
Our live sports were Opens and GPs.
Gone.
And they went, yeah, you don't need those anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm no longer preparing for the live event.
Right.
Why do I need to go get coached?
You don't.
You don't. Don't let all the people that are actually charging people $75 an hour for coaching.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how that works.
There are hundreds of thousands of hours of videos of people better than you playing Magic for free right now. You can do it that way. But all that said, times they are changing, and Magic has just caught up with it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Wild.
It is.
I'm actually like interested to see what TCGPlayer does.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
like I said, that binder POS stuff is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm mad, and it's weird that they bought them all at once.
Yeah,
That they like did both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It will be interesting though. Like seeing what they do, and like in the content space. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I know that Cool Stuff has content because PK said so at the beginning of his videos when I watched them.
Yeah, I think Jim Davis is on Cool Stuff.
Jim
also.
Davis is also one. No idea who else makes Cool Stuff content. I think I've read like 3 articles ever on Cool Stuff.
Yeah.
Same with like TCG. Like the big thing with like TCG content, right, is like with those other sites, it was like in your face, like, yo, content.
Yeah.
Right?
Front and center. TCGPlayer,
And
dig for it a little bit.
yeah, like I'm on their main page, unsure. I guess okay, articles and decks.
Yeah.
Right, but like it's not right, like it's not something I don't ever think TCGPlayer content.
Right.
Right, I think TCGPlayers participate in commerce,
Mm-hmm.
leave TCGPlayer.
Support CasualTryHardMTG.
Yes, exactly. Which hey, we got a deposit yesterday.
Nice.
Covers Podbean. We did it.
Yeah.
Doesn't cover SoundCloud. Covers Podbean. So, with all that, if you guys buy TCGPlayer, let us know why. Just if you buy the company, let us know what the inner workings are. Let us know. Give us a discount. So,
Rep our show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want a banner at the top of TCGPlayer when you buy it.
That's right.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, give us a spot on the site, baby.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, if anyone out there has a site that wants to host the show, we are more than willing to jump on somewhere.
Yeah. So with all that, I think we have a show.
Yeah, I think we have a show.
So, any show ideas, apparently business opportunities, our social media links are all in the description. We also have our Discord there where we hang out.
Yep.
So any ideas, also start sending us mailbag questions.
Yeah, and
we can gather those up over the next few weeks and maybe do a show here before too long.
Yeah, let us know like that it's a mailbag question too, so I don't try and just answer it right away.
Yeah.
I'll try and not do that anyway, but just remind me it's supposed to be a mailbag question. Yeah, so hit us up with show ideas, like I said, the mailbag questions. If you want to see some of what we're doing or participate, we have our tournament coming up this weekend, the 23rd of July at 8 p.m. East Coast time, Standard Artisan. Head on over to mtgmelee.com to sign up for that. If you want to watch us, we're going to be on Brad's stream. Is it DrakV_Pauper on Twitch? That'll be next weekend. I think it's around 6 p.m., but we'll post up when that's going to be too. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Like we've said all show long, our TCGPlayer affiliate link, if you guys want to help support the show at really no cost to you. It doesn't cost you anything else other than, what you're going to be buying anyway, to help us out, and we would appreciate it. If you want to support us directly, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Get access to our show notes, get access to our pre-show, and get put on my mailing list when I send out my grab bags. But more importantly, because you like us, throw us a couple bucks.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. And I don't think I have anything else, do you?
Neither do I.
All right.
So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internets.